Culture Klash.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Culture Klash. We in the building. So, yeah, what's up, man?
What's up, man? How everything been going?
Oh, man. So far, so good. Can't complain.
We got a lot of new artists about to drop this week in the music world.
Who dropping?
We got that Future about to drop. Super Slimey with Thugger.
Oh,
When is that dropping?
That's dropping at midnight.
And then they didn't like do a rollout for it. They didn't announce it, right?
Y'all, it's just
That's
all
what
about
I'm saying.
surprises. A lot of artists do that on the low. They might drop like a surprise album. I mean, teach his own. I feel like it worked for some folks. Some folks shouldn't try it, but you know, that surprise drop, it works sometimes, just depending on who you are.
That's real. And I feel like we should have saw that coming a little bit because they did like, what's the name of that single they got going on, like Future and Young Thug?
Relationships.
Yeah, so like,
That's a hot song, by the way.
That's a hot song. Like it's doing numbers out here. But yeah, so I'm thinking if we're talking about like a Future and a Young Thug, because you know you probably heard the term like the mumble rap.
Yeah, the mumble rap.
So how do you feel about that? Like if we talk specifically, we'll start with Future and then we'll get into Young Thug after. But if we talk about Future, what do you think about Future? Do you think he's a mumble rapper?
I don't think he's necessarily a mumble rapper. I just think he just go more off feeling. Like, not to say none of his shit can be like some good lyrics or whatever, but it's something that you're gonna feel more than that punchline that's gonna come like one of those heavy ass punchlines. Like it's gonna be more emotion to his line than the actual like I'm just finna get these bars off type rapper.
To me personally, if we talk about Future, honestly, I feel like, man, he's the voice of. If we talk about the last, I would say 5 to at least 7 years. I would say that Future is probably the voice of still today of those last years. If we talk about Future, and it's ironic because when he first started off, people were saying he sounded like T-Pain, and it's probably because of the autotune effect. But if you think about it, Future, when I listen to Future, I don't hear none of that. I don't hear
either.
Future.
I don't either.
And I feel like that's the thing is that
I feel like he have his name for a reason.
exactly. But honestly, I feel like Future is like it's the new generation, it's the new wave.
Yeah,
honestly, and
no question.
people have to understand that nowadays there's different. It's the internet, so anybody can come up with the songs. So there's gonna be different styles. There's gonna be like hardcore lyrical content. There's gonna be
It's a more variety to because you got to
exactly.
think about it. It's more easy. It's accessible to make a song and put it out for the world to hear. Like back then, you couldn't do that as much because you didn't have any internet. You only had magazines or radio. Like that's the only way you could have got your music out. I mean, or through word of mouth. That's always gonna play into the game. But just back then, it was more harder for you to make music and get out there as it is today. That's why I feel like when Future came, it was like he had the internet way. I mean, he had the streets. He had Atlanta. But I'm just saying, as far as like when that whole wave came through, you have to think about it. All over the world, they looking into Atlanta, and when they look into Atlanta, they see Future. And by that time, that was what, racks on racks. So he had racks on racks. It was just like, I mean, he had other things going, but when it came to racks on racks, that's when it was like, yeah, this is Future. And then he came with the Tony Montana. Then it was just went to the next level with it.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like already he has such a big catalog. If we're talking about Future, his catalog is huge.
He has a huge catalog.
People can't deny the fact.
And it's not a bad catalog, personally.
Exactly. They can't deny that it's been hits on hits on hits. And some people say it's kind of like, it's not like, how can I say this? Like as if Future is not like somebody like, let's say like a quote unquote like a Lauryn Hill, for example, where it's like people would say it's like timeless music. So do you feel, okay, that leads me to my next question.
I feel like so you go into your next question, that alone, it's to each his own. Because you'll have your certain fans that feel like Lauryn Hill music is timeless. You're gonna have your certain fans that gonna feel like Future music is timeless. Like it's all about your taste in music, like who you feel connects to you the most. Like everybody don't connect to the same thing. That's why we have such a variety of music. It has to be a variety of music because you're not going to listen to conscious rap in the club, and you really don't want to hear club rap when you're trying to just chill.
That's real. And you know what the crazy thing is that when you hear, like for example, our parents or their parents, they always said that music in their time was the best music.
But you gotta think about their parents, because their parents said the same thing back when they was younger. So
exactly.
It's always going to just keep going like that. It's what it is.
Exactly. So that's why people like you said, to each his own. Like at the end of the day, we don't have to like the same things. And do you feel like, if we talk about that though, because I made like a little, it wasn't like a comparison. The Lauryn Hill is Lauryn Hill and Future is like two separate, two totally different type of artists. But do you feel like, because Lauryn Hill can still sell out shows on that one album, so do you feel like Future can do that in let's say 20 years? Are you gonna listen to Future? Are they gonna go to his shows?
Good question. I would say yes. Because I feel like it's always gonna be that certain amount of fans that just gonna stick with Future. That's like, even when they get older, they still gonna go back to, just like how it would be for Lauryn Hill or any other artist who got that cult fan. If you have a cult fan, they're gonna grow with you no matter what. So it's like, say for instance, like you off the scene for like maybe like 5-10 years, you still can come back. If you had reached that status where you had that good amount of cult following, you're always going to be able to get shows because they're always going to come because they already done bought into you.
Yeah.
They already done bought into you. So it's like once they buy into you, like as long as you just put out work, they're there to buy.
That's real. And which leads on, because this is a joint album we're talking about.
So that's even cross promotion into each other's fan base, which makes their fan base even bigger. I mean, even though it might be like the same kind of fan base, but still, like I feel Thugger might have some fans that Future don't have, and Future might have some fans that Thugger don't have, and with this project, they can get that fan and just make it grow even larger.
Exactly. And speaking of that joint album with Future and Young Thug, when it comes to Young Thug and his antics, what are your thoughts on that? If we talk about Young Thug, because at the end of the day, like Young Thug, he has a huge impact on like culture in general and in hip hop and just in music. So what are your thoughts on, like, if we talk about like the marketing? I feel that when he first came out, like the dress and the hugs and all those things that people will call quote unquote suspect.
Yeah.
Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I just feel like that you go within the new age marketing, because you have to think about it. Within this new age marketing, it's a million rappers, it's a million singers, it's a million producers. So what you gonna do that's gonna make you stand out from the next person? Some folks will take it that extra length to make it like, okay, I'm doing this to show I can stand out from this person. That's what's gonna attract the people to them, whether it's good or bad. They still coming to them. Like, it doesn't, like, they feel like good publicity, bad publicity, still publicity. I mean, it's just all about how you look at it and how But I'm saying to each his own.
That's true. But yeah, like I'm looking to see what's gonna happen with that album, man.
I think it's gonna do numbers.
Yeah, me too. When it comes to numbers, honestly, I think it's gonna do numbers. Now the question is, and again, it's just a matter of taste. Am I gonna like it? Are you gonna like it? But again, that's just
only time will tell.
Exactly, only time will tell. And is there anybody else dropping today?
Yes, we also got that Young Dolph, Thinking Out Loud.
Okay.
So 2 weeks after his shooting.
Wow.
Cause I was thinking, like, even when he dropped Bulletproof, it was a week after his shooting. So now he's dropping Thinking Out Loud. It's 2 weeks after his shooting. So I mean, I definitely believe that he's doing the right thing by getting something out there fast, because people want to hear what he have to say. So people want to hear what you have to say. Why not put it out in something they can you can monetize? Like, it's all about monetizing your stuff, because
Yeah, and I think
if it's out there, get it.
Yeah, and I think, what was the name? I think he actually called the last album Bulletproof or something like that.
Bulletproof.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, I can't blame him. At the end of the day, what happened to him happened to him. So you might as well use that and, you know,
So
like capitalize. Yeah, you might as well because
might as well. But at the same time, though, don't try to like. I'm not necessarily saying you can avoid it, but just do your best to avoid it. If you know what I mean. Like,
exactly, because I feel like this is like that's a second shooting in like a couple months.
Second shooting within a year.
Within a year, still, it's like I mean,
year.
like you don't want that to become a pattern. Like especially like you're an artist, you're a celebrity, and people know you have money, and man, like those people, I understand. Sometimes they have ties to the streets, but at the end of the day, sometimes you gotta.
You always have to think about the bigger picture.
The bigger picture.
The bigger picture is always gonna be bigger than the streets, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of things happen if we talk about those rappers that got into like some criminal issues. Like if we talk about, for example, C Murder. I don't know if you remember C Murder.
C Murder. No,
like he's still in jail, and I feel like for him, what happened is when there was actually a situation and. I think somebody got killed or somebody got shot at a show.
Yeah.
And he was the one blamed just because he was the big name. They wanted the big name out of all of the people there.
Of course, because you have to think like you're the face. If you're the face and this incident is happening, they don't care if you done it or that. You still gonna get charged with it because you're the person that was there. You're the person that the world knows. So you have like a such and such is at the concert, then a shooting or stabbing happened. What do you think the headline's gonna say? Shooting or stabbing at such and such concert. Like they'll never really drop the name. They don't really care who did the shooting or stabbing. They only care about who concert or where it was. Like you have to always think about that. So sometimes I can understand that all artists make music like far as like from their environment and everything, but you have to always watch what you say too, because that stuff can actually fall in real life, because that's how people perceive you. People perceive you as what you say. So if you saying these things, you have to be able to come with it.
Exactly. And if we go back to Future, it's the same thing when it comes to the content you talk about in your music. It's like Future, like he's known to talk about a lot of drug use in his music, and he said that clearly he doesn't take drugs, or at least not at the rate that he talks about in his music. So I feel like at the same time, like those artists like Future or any other artist, if you talk about certain things, even if it's true, I feel like they need to do some type of education and let the young generation know that this is not necessarily the way. It's entertainment. Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of kids that are just following what's cool out there and they're just lost and they think something is cool, but it's like, man.
But you know the answer to all that though is because they're afraid to lose the bag. They know if they
that's real.
They know if they switch up, they have it's a great potential they can lose the bag. Who want to lose the bag?
That's true, but at the same, think about it. It's like, is the bag worth it that much? Where you get those people that are lost, and then
that's a question.
It's a cycle. Yeah, I feel like it's a cycle, because it's like if somebody's lost and then they're gonna have kids, and then they're not gonna be able to lead them perfectly because of a
lot of them have kids already.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like I don't know, but I feel like at the same time I get it. Just like I feel like when it comes to rappers, for some reason we always blame. And I talk in general, not we, but just in general, I feel like rappers are always blamed for a lot of things when it comes to like those kids, whether they're in gangs or whether it's when it comes to drugs.
But I think that also starts with their home too, because you also have to let your kids know that this is just music. Like don't because at the end of the day, nothing's going to change. It's still going to go the same route it's going, because nobody want to lose the bag, so they're going to give the music that's accepted by the culture, and we all know what type of music that is. So I mean, it's just people's jobs at home to like tell their kids like, okay, they might be saying this on the record, but don't just try this for real. Like, just have your own mind.
That's real, and that's when it comes to music. But the thing is, for example, not to sound funny or anything, but if we talk about like a Young Thug, since we're talking about that joint album with Future, how would you like those when they wear like those dresses and those things, like how can you actually explain that? Me, I don't know how I would explain that if I have a child. How would I explain him wearing a dress and hugs and all those things. Like, would you feel comfortable if it's let's say if you have a child?
If
would you
it
feel
was my
comfortable with
child,
that?
I would just honestly say that he's expressing himself in his own way. We all move on in our own way. I would tell him that I would tell him the truth. Like it's what it is. Like it's a man wearing a female dress, and he would ask me, and I would tell him the truth. But at the same time, I will also say that he's expressing himself.
That's real. That's real. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Culture Clash.
Make sure y'all subscribe at the bottom. Click down at the bottom. Like, share, tell a friend to tell another friend that Culture Clash is here. The Urban Mix.
Culture Klash.